Welcome back to the Watercolor Journey Painting Challenge. Hi, I'm Chris, and last time I talked about inspiration and how to manage it when it runs dry. This time I want to cover a topic that plagues most of us: how to get your art noticed online. And please stay until the end because I'll be sharing about something special I've been working on for quite a while that could be of benefit to you if you're struggling as an artist or art student. If you're looking to start and run a creative business, and even if you aren't, it feels really good when others appreciate your talent and hard work. So if you're posting images of your creations on a website or social media and getting zero to little engagement, it can be really discouraging. Maybe you haven't started any social accounts yet, and just the thought of it is intimidating. Or if you've finally actually done it and there's little to no response, man, I've been there and it's hard to take. Here we are creating in our own spaces, each of us in different parts of the world. And thankfully, we have online communities we can join and local communities to meet others like us. But on a day-to-day, it can feel really isolating and lonely. That's the time you need to remember why you started creating in the first place. For me, I always felt a strong pull to create, and the more I do, the happier I am. No matter what project I'm working on, I make sure I'm connecting with that original motivation, the sheer joy of creating. Otherwise, I ask myself, why am I doing this? If you're doing a commission for clients, there's an unmistakable satisfaction in bringing someone else's vision to life. But just be sure you're also taking time to create for yourself too, to stay in touch with your own vision, even if it's just random fun. It's so important to tune into your original creative spark. This is deeply satisfying and can help you weather the challenges that come for every artist and creative. This deep motivation is also what makes you and your artwork unique. It ignites your passion and gives you direction as you go forward. Some call this their North Star, and it could be as simple as an idea like I must create to stay sane, or I must create to stay grounded, or to stay calm. You may want to leave a creative legacy to your kids or grandkids. You may want to be a creative encouragement to others and help them connect with their creativity when they can't quite get there on their own. That's my big motivation, along with the feeling of such a deep sense of calm when I create. Whatever that motivation is for you, find it, grab it, and never let it go. It's your life jacket in a sea of negativity, in the face of criticism, or when life gets hard. It's from this space that I've decided to share my work with others. I started on Instagram years ago to test the waters, but I assumed my work wasn't valuable because only a few people liked, commented, or even noticed. Looking back, I realized what a precious time that was because people did notice. That's huge. It's a validation that you're doing work that's valued by others. And if I had been in an actual room with those same people, that would have been such a confidence boost for me. But when we see how the online space celebrates big numbers and creates comparison, we seem to lose perspective. Between 1 to 5 people standing in a room telling you they like what you're doing is incredibly powerful. But then we go on socials or online, and all of a sudden, 1 to 5 people isn't enough. Why? Because we're comparing our results with others who aren't even relevant to us, and we didn't hold on to our original motivation. I had to stop and ask myself, what's really important to me as an individual? Why are someone else's metrics driving what I do? I don't even know the context of those metrics they're sharing. Did you know that there are many successful people out there making their goals and good income and only getting 5 to 10 likes on a post? That's because they didn't place themselves at the mercy of an algorithm. They changed their perspective and figured out how to use the online space and social media to benefit their deep motivation. You don't have to be the little guy or the victim in this situation when you turn things around in your mind and take action. So, what actions can you take? To explain, I want to tell you about years ago when I first built a website. It wasn't the best website, but I worked really hard on it, and I was devastated when no one showed up to view it. I don't know why I thought that just because I put something online, suddenly the whole world would see it. It's true that the whole world could see it, but first they'd have to know it was there. For example, what if you planned a party and came up with a cool theme, decorated, planned the menu, turned on some fun music, and waited patiently for guests to arrive, but no one showed up after all that work? That would be a huge bummer, right? Then you realize you forgot to send out the invitations. Oh, but there were a number of people that would have loved to come to your awesome party, but they simply didn't know it was happening. So, how do you throw a party online or on socials? First of all, you need a venue. That's why you start the social networking account and build the website. That's just you setting up your party space. When you set up your website banner or your social profile, that's just you greeting them at the door saying, "Hey, this is me and what I'm interested in. Nice to meet you." When you post your artwork, that's you decorating your party space with the lovely things that you created. It makes those spaces feel festive and welcoming, which will attract your people. And when you get 15 to 25 followers or visitors in that space, my friend, that is a party. Can you imagine 15 to 25 people at your house celebrating with you? That's a good number of people, right? I don't even know if I could fit 25 people in my living room. But what if you were so disappointed because more people didn't show up that you called off the party? Calling off the party in this example is like you stopping all posting and just giving up on your account and or website. And those people who showed up to your party would be disappointed. Believe me, I know what all this feels like because I have done it. I have started, stopped, given up, thrown in the towel because I wasn't getting the engagement I thought I needed. Then I dug into why it happened and I realized I was forgetting one key step in the grand scheme of things. Because if you want more people at your party, you need to make more friends that you can invite. To me, this is the essence of what social networking is for. It's a place to find your people and connect with them. I love meeting new artists on Instagram, Pinterest, here on YouTube, and in my Facebook group. It's why I show up to those places. I meet people with the same interests and values as me. I get to see their beautiful work, and we have great conversations, just like at a party. And as an online watercolor and creative teacher, I get to help and inspire them. That's being social, and it's also networking. So instead of being at the mercy of a social network or low website traffic, I don't get too caught up because I'm doing it my way, fueled by my own deep motivation. And by the way, that's what social networks were originally built for, to help people engage more easily with each other. Once you make more friends online, it's time for the next step. Just like at a physical party, you've got to send out the invitation. And if you want more people to show up, you need to make new friends and invite them, right? In this case, the party is a continual flow of enhancing your spaces online with new artwork, making new friends by commenting and sharing and inviting them to join in with what you're doing. Just like in real life, the more people who see your invitation, the more of them will come. I know many artists are super intimidated by continually asking, but if you don't, the new people who have just come aboard will see your invitation, and the people who have already been there might not have even seen it yet. The sad truth is that very few people see our posts on social networks in the first place, so repetition is necessary, not rude. So, how do you invite your people? I've found the best way to do this is just ask. Yes, it can be that simple. Did you know that I've been putting off starting a broadcast channel on Instagram since just after they started broadcast channels because I didn't think anybody would join it? Last week, I actually took the plunge and created a broadcast channel to share my links to my newest classes and tutorial because that's what my audience looks for from me. Do you know I immediately had 22 people in there? I had more people the next day and more people the next day, and all I had to do was send out the invitations to ask them to join me for my new party. You can send your online invitations in the form of announcing you have a booth at an art fair, a link to view your new website, or asking for thoughts on a project you just finished. Invite people to celebrate with you and let them in on all the hard work you just accomplished. You will be surprised if you keep doing this consistently at how many people will jump in and be so happy to see your progress and growth. Marketing has become such a scary word, and I think it feels unattainable, like a science that we mere artists couldn't possibly understand, when all it actually is inviting your friends to see what it is you're doing and sharing. That's it. I think it feels unreachable because there are so many marketing strategies and tactics out there. which is great and helpful when you get to the point you need them. But it doesn't change the essence of what marketing is, sharing about what you're doing, an invitation, if you will. So instead of spending time playing the comparison game and getting discouraged, I ignore that and concentrate on making friends, building connections, and inviting them to my online parties. With this mindset, social posting goes from being scary to being a joy. And the intimidation factor mostly melts away. There will always be some beginning jitters, let's be real. And that's normal, but with practice, posting and website updates get easier and easier, just like anything else. For you to be here right now, I had to create the party venue by starting my channel. I decorated it by adding helpful and inspiring videos, and then I invited you in some way. Either I asked you to tap the notification bell so you would get an alert when new videos went live, or I've added tags to my video, which would have brought you here through the algorithm, or you clicked a link that you saw on my website or one of my social accounts. And I'm so happy that you said yes to my invitation, and I'm absolutely delighted to have you at this party. All the steps I mentioned to welcome your ideal people to your virtual party makes sense, right? And there are more technical website and social networking things you can do to grow, like knowing when to post or how to create good online content, etc. But in the meantime, there's one more step I want to share with you from a creative perspective. There's something that I've used to keep people engaged with me and coming back for more, and that is to create more engaging artwork. Now, the technique I'm about to share with you has gotten me brand deals, podcast interviews, and other paid opportunities. And whether you're looking for paid opportunities or not, who wouldn't mind turning a few more heads because your artwork just sparkles? Especially if it would also save you time, money, and lead to a more efficient workflow for all of your projects going forward. I have a Skillshare class on this topic, and it's something I keep touching on with you in this challenge, and that is to create collections with your artwork. Using a unified color palette and sharpening your skill is key in bringing all your work together in such a beautiful way. And I've been sharing tips on how to do this throughout this challenge so far. Creating in collections saves you time on what to paint, brainstorming time on what colors to use, and begins to make your work more recognizable to others. It also makes your work look more interesting to look at. You may know that vision actually happens in the brain and that your eyes are just lenses, but the brain is always looking to make connection. When you use a unified color palette for your work, it may seem limiting for the time being, but when you've created several pieces and put them together, these pieces will look better together than any two random pieces. And what happens when you fill your website or social feeds with these pieces? You and your online spaces start to feel put together and way more fun to look at. It's a proven fact that the longer someone looks at what you're sharing, the more they're apt to engage with it. This means more people showing up for your invitations and coming to your online and social parties. This translates into participation, followers, sales. The sky's the limit. Collections are a mix of art and science, and they really work. That's why so many online experts, teachers, marketers talk about collections in their work and suggest you create them too. I'm talking about some really big ones, so I'm sure you've heard them say this at some point in time. And the reason they teach it is because it is not so easily done. Many try to create successful collections of artwork but get frustrated in the process. It's a lot harder than it looks, but the guidelines, once you learn them, can be simple. This challenge will be your introduction to this concept as I show you the very basics, as I've done in my Skillshare class, Watercolor Collections, Scroll-Stopping Colors-Themed Artwork. But if you want to go deeper into this process, I came up with a 9-step process to create cohesive collections with my own artwork. And as I mentioned, it's helped me get way more engagement than ever before. Why a 9-step process? I mean, it's kind of intense, right? I wanted to break it down to such a finite point that I couldn't miss anything, because it can be a sophisticated equation when done well. And so far, it's helped me build a good, balanced, and cohesive collection every time. Now that I'm confident in this 9-step process that has really helped my art get noticed more, I hope it's okay that I'm sharing about my paid course designed to go deeper with my art students who want to supercharge their creation process and their online presentation. I know many of you have been curious about this 9-step process, so I recorded the whole thing in over 35 videos and a 22-page workbook that you can now go through at your own pace. I'm calling it the Confident Collection Creator, and I'm already helping other watercolor students and aspiring surface designers gain clarity on how to use these lessons to create processes for themselves they can use over and over again to create beautiful, cohesive artwork for all kinds of projects. I use this process for my paintings, my surface design, my graphic design, my website design, and so much more. So why am I qualified to teach you this? I did study art and design skills at 2 summer programs at the coveted Pasadena Art Center. I did 2 years of professional level graphic design education, another year of fine art and design education, and I've worked with some excellent artists and designers over the years, giving me a collective skill set that I'm now so excited to share with you. I've also helped over 3,000 students in my creative classes on Skillshare over the years. And on top of that, I worked for Bonnie Christine in her immersion course, supporting hundreds of her students for 3 years with their artwork, surface designs, mood board designs, and putting it all together to build successful collection. The collection building part is actually my forte because of this 9-step process that I developed for my own projects. And now I get to make it available to you. The skills you'll learn in this course will expand how you plan and execute your projects and get you in line with the tools used by professional art directors, designers, and artists alike. It will add polish to your creative process and help you build a more effective and efficient workflow. First, I welcome you in Module 1 and make sure you have everything you need to start the course. Then I outline the process in detail using worksheets to guide you along in Modules 2 and 3. Then there are over 15 demonstration videos in Modules 4 and 5 to take the guesswork out of how to execute this process using watercolor painting projects as example. At the end, I show you how all of these steps come together in a thorough recap. I've also included some helpful bonuses for you in Module 6 to give you even more clarity and support. And over the next few months, I'm hosting some group Q&A sessions as an additional bonus so you can get the answers to the questions unique to your personal projects and workflow. And right now, while I'm putting some finishing touches on the course and adding captions to the second half of the video lesson, I've reduced the course price by, well, a lot. However, it's completely ready for you to dive in today. So if you want to learn this process, now is the perfect time before the price goes back up to its regular cost once it's finished. And if you're watching this video in the future, I apologize in advance because this course will be at the regular price, which is still a consolation because it's an excellent value for all of the tips, knowledge, techniques, templates, and bonuses I share inside. Either way, the link is in the description for you to explore the course in more detail. Now, I'm not pushing you to purchase. I'm just really excited about a process I created to bring myself clarity, and it's helping others gain that clarity that they were looking for. I really just wanted to tell you that it was here in case it's something you feel will help you create more engaging artwork to captivate the audience you're building. And I truly hope after watching this video, you understand a bit more about the process of growth online as a creative. It does require some patience and perseverance, but in the long run, all the planets seem to align if you're working all the points. The main thing is not to give up. Keep going long enough that you give yourself a chance. If you have questions or need some encouragement, let me know in the comments below or in our private Facebook group, which is a safe space for you to share your art and your thoughts. You'll also find a link to join us in this challenge where you'll get access to all the lessons, the full color workbook, the community I mentioned, and the online challenge hub all for free. So you don't want to miss it. You might even see your artwork featured in some of these videos later on. In fact, here are some of the beautiful projects that have been posted in the community recently from our challenge members. You can click the image on the screen now to watch all the challenge lessons from the beginning. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, I would still appreciate it if you would hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos as they come out. And I'll see you next time.